Just like many areas, our area received quite a buffeting from Storm Katie. But just as the Met Office said on the Monday late afternoon, the winds would die down and the clouds would clear, and they were absolutely right. And so we had a little shopping trip to Swaffham, and on the way back we took a long meandering way back through the back country lanes, and once again we had a wonderful safari. If you've seen any of our videos before, you know that most of our videos are shot from our car because I have mobility problems, but it never stops us seeing lots of good wildlife. And although we could never afford to go on a real safari in Africa, we do think of it sometimes as being on safari in our own location. You'll know also that we see a lot of hares, and today was no exception. We saw 90 of them today. Although a few of them were active, most of them just seemed to be sunbathing in the glorious afternoon, evening sunshine and enjoying this Easter Monday. We saw quite a few deer as well today, not as many as we normally see, but even though it was about 5-6 o'clock in the evening, it was perhaps a little bit early for them. They do prefer to come out as the light goes. And we in fact saw 9 roe deer and 9 muntjac deer in various places along our route on the way home. Always a joy to see during the daytime. Quite often when we're out, we'll park up somewhere quiet off the road and Jan will film out of one side of the car and I'll film out of the other side. And as I was filming these roe deer, Jan was filming some hare in the field on the other side of the road. You may notice, if you watch this carefully, you'll see what looks like some leaves blowing across, but they're not leaves. There was a flock of 50 to 60 small birds that flew across. They were a little bit far away to see actually what they were, but probably I should think they were migrants on their way either here or away from here. The migrants have been a bit slow to arrive here in our location at this time, I think mainly due to the winds being against them, but in the coming weeks we look forward to seeing quite a few of those migrants arrive. Sometimes when we're watching wildlife, wildlife is watching us, like this grey squirrel in the trees above us. We seem to be quite fascinated by what we were doing. When I was younger, I grew up in London, more years ago than I care to remember at the moment, but quite often we would go on trips into the country at weekends and the like when we had a car, and the only wildlife that we would see would be farm animals. And I love seeing farm animals even today, and although it's becoming harder to see them for various reasons, for food security and fear of rural crime, I do love seeing especially the young farm animals, the newly born piglets that we see here. The area of Norfolk that we live in is called the Brecks, and some of the scenery is absolutely fascinating, especially the trees and the weird shapes that they grow up in. It's mainly agricultural, but there are some large shooting estates, which actually, funnily enough, helps the wildlife. And we quite often see a lot of the wildlife on these shooting estates, like this roe deer here, a stag who's enjoying feasting on the crops. And just a little way away from him was this muntjac deer Also enjoying an evening supper on the edge of the crops. We pulled over to see if we could capture some pictures of the sun setting. We came across this stag muntjac again, looking for food on the field. Jan filmed this and I was trying to get pictures of the sunset. But sometimes when you're sitting there, exciting things happen, and I always know something exciting is happened when I hear a whisper and a little poke in the side. Look, Rob, look what's here. And today was no exception. The barn owl came quite close to the car, and Jan got some footage of it hunting about 10 metres away from the car at the beginning. Always a joy to see. In fact, it was the second barn owl that we were to see today. You can see the muntjac that we were just filming along the side of the field there as well. We had some other good sightings today. Apart from the hare and the deer, we saw 4 buzzards, quite often seen in our area. We saw a goshawk as well. And our evening sort of concluded with this fine sunset and group of roe deer and hare all in one shot, and then finally some hare. And I'll leave you just to watch the end of the video now. Thanks for watching. Happy Easter and bye for now.